Welcome to Educate Yourself channel. Our topic today is, will the world change after Corona 2020? Will everything return like before after Corona 2020 ends? Many analysts, economists, and forecasters of the future confirmed that the shape of the world will not be the same as it was after the disappearance of Corona disease and the end of the epicenter of the disease in the whole world. The changes that this disease will cause are a huge gap between societies in the world. Living societies that have always been vital, customs and traditions that are a symbol and culture for every society will change their condition and nature, and through the global economy experienced by countries and economic crises that accompany most of the world, starting with the large from them to the developing countries whose shape will change, and thus the domination of new powers over the world, and its shape will change after the passage of these events in 2020, and their end. On the social side, and with the outbreak of Corona 2020 disease throughout Europe, Asia, and the world at large, history and time have a major role, and they talk about a major change in the social lifestyle and its style in most of the countries of the world that have been exposed to this similar type of epidemic, or natural disasters, or artifacts, such as the events of 9/11, the tsunami, or when SARS has spread, and many other incidents that have changed the concept of social life in countries that have been exposed to this thing. As for the expected repercussions of this current disease, they are the same expectations that are similar to before the events that occurred previously. The change that occurs after the end of the coronavirus 2020 and its elimination is an increase in poverty in the countries affected by the coronavirus, and an increase in the unemployment rate, and this clearly leads to a decrease in income the individual has a gross national product. In addition to changing the form of traditional education, so that distance education becomes the most sought after these events with a large percentage, so the world will be moving towards a wide deal on the web economically and commercially, so that the buying and selling operations become much greater previously, in addition to increasing the number of employees on the internet, as it is an income that generates a lot of profit, without the need for direct contact with others. In terms of living, the elderly are considered an eternal symbol in the history of our lives. The eyes in the Corona 2020 crisis are now heading towards them, and they tend to appreciate and thank them, and try to preserve them, because the disease affects this age group directly more than the youth because of their weak immunity, especially those who suffer from stress, diabetes, and heart disease. They are more likely to die than others. That is why the shape of the community after the end of the corona crisis is expected to be more youthful than before, especially in the countries where the disease is rampant, and because it recorded huge numbers of deaths of the elderly, such as Italy, Spain, America, and others. This gives us an idea of what a future society will look like after the end of the Corona 2020 crisis. The economic sector that you are moving and controlling is the major powers in the world, is the main factor in determining the shape of countries and the nature of their stability in the region. There are many countries that lost their economy significantly and are still due to the Corona 2020 crisis, which caused business to stop, and the return of expatriate workers to countries, and stopped the routine life that they were living, and this contributes greatly to increasing the economic burden and public debt of poor countries. Therefore, the overall saying that the crisis of Corona 2020 will change the shape of the world a lot in economic terms, as great countries may fall, and other countries appear on the economic front, to try to control the global economy. From the medical point of view, and from the many experiences that the world has gone through, which were very similar to the crisis of Corona 2020, the medical side will be more serious in dealing with a pandemic like this in the coming days, or rather in the distant future. These types of epidemics may have an impact significant in the extinction of mankind, because of the tendency of the great powers to biological weapons to protect themselves. This causes the death of millions of people. Therefore, this is prevented by limiting the spread of these weapons and preventing them completely, punishing those who do so, and paying great attention to studying the pathological side and carrying out extensive medical research to find ways to get rid of these dangerous diseases, to preserve the lives of people and the human race in the future. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell button to receive all new